Was there anything that happened when you were in around secondary school level or high school or even in uni that led you to choose this career path into sustainability?
Yes, so in between high school and uni, so last year of high school, I was working for a rewards company as an internship. And so this rewards company, they developed loyalty systems for big football clubs like the Premier League and also for big supermarkets, specifically food, like related supermarkets. And so when we were developing these reward systems, we'll do a lot of analytics and maths to figure out, okay, how do we get people to buy more? How do we put, the most tempting products at the front of the store to encourage more purchases and essentially more consumption? And so I think as I understood the principles behind how reward systems worked, I realized how much time people and effort people spend to get rewards. So people would watch, like hours of videos, and they would fill out surveys. They would like do tasks around the store to get free stuff. So then I thought, okay, that's a lot of user attention, and user attention nowadays is pretty expensive. So can we turn it into something positive? And that's where kind of the shift came, and I thought, okay, we're going to make Eat It a rewards program which is nothing like the ones currently on the market. We're actually going to make it something which is a force of good and which encourages people to think about what they're buying instead of thoughtlessly buying stuff they don't need, essentially. So I think that's kind of.
And I can also state it like from the user point of view, because like in high school when you need to manage your own funds and money, I use the rewards app. Um, and then like I understood I'm watching a lot of like strange videos, like filling some super strange surveys, and in order to get like this 5% discount. And I was like, okay, can I benefit myself of this work? Can I benefit myself of doing these activities? And that's how we connected with Sasha and built EduTap.
Wow, that's very interesting. So, how did you guys get into the green tech space then?
As I've said at first, this was intended to be a reward system which was based on sustainability data on different foods. However, as it is a business, the first thing we did was talk to our potential users and customers, and we actually found out that there was a really big demand for a marketplace, and not just any marketplace, a marketplace which features local businesses. So we've considered all the risks and decided that we will shift towards a marketplace model, and that's what Buy It is at the moment.
Why is sustainability so important to you guys? Do you have any stories about how you got into this or about encountering any environmental issues?
Well, I think sustainability is a big issue among several sectors, but something that really stands out to me is the data side of it. So it's very hard nowadays to actually know for sure if something is sustainable. There's so much information to look at. There's so much information which is unknown or undisclosed, and there are also so many different ways to assess if something is sustainable. So I think it's quite hard for people nowadays to understand if their food, for example, is actually sustainable or whether it's just a greenwashing commercial move. And the second part of it is, so in terms of fashion, as I've said, one of my biggest passions is small business shopping and thrifting. However, the mass market in terms of clothes and online purchases makes it very easy to be tempted to overconsume. And I think that none of us are safe from the marketing, the excessive marketing, and the temptation to overconsume at times. And I think that's where it's really important to be aware of what sustainability is.
Yeah, and I can start from general stuff. So basically, industry it always evolves, and I believe sustainability is new industry. And if Sasha was talking about like fashion in terms of mass market, I was inspired by Pangaea, which is like more or less luxury brand in fashion, but they're like not simply fashion, like as majority of brands do state. They're actually sustainable brands, and their goal and aim to like inspire and accelerate the like earth positive future is great. And if Pangaea is one of the first luxury like brands which fully fulfill sustainability requirements, I wish Buy It our project sort of like to be a brand which the first brand which promotes sustainability consumer behavior in e-commerce. And yeah, those guys simply inspired me.
A lot of people aren't optimistic about um, working in sustainability or starting a green tech startup, and some students are actually not taught to not do sustainability related jobs in the future because of low pay. So why do you guys think students actively ignore the sustainability space, and what are some things that we can do about that?
I think that one of the biggest reasons is a lack of awareness. So the sustainability space is very broad. It ranges across starting from research and data analysis all the way to actual business side of it, manufacturing, supply chains. There's just so much opportunity within the space, which I think that some students are just simply unaware of. And I mean, one of the challenges of, I guess, any career field is the pay and the commercial side of it. But then again, there are so many different opportunities, which I think should just be presented to students more, perhaps in a more clear way and more often. And then it will probably allow students to first of all understand that they have a choice of what industry they want to work in within sustainability. Um, and then secondly to allow them to see that there is growth not just of the market of these jobs but also of like the salaries and the demand for them and so forth.
Yeah, I'll also add that a lot of students have, let's say, financial goals, and industries like finance, oil, gas, like and whatever, they're more attractive because like they sort of cool. People like it. It's beautiful. You have private jets, maybe, maybe not. But be like that's also like the way we explain what sustainability to students and young people. We need to explain that like it's not cool having a private jet. It's cool to promote and to make the world better in terms of sustainability, and in terms of, let's say, even green tech and CO2 emissions, and etc. So people need to have another values, different values than financial and monetary ones.
Yeah, that's such a good way to put it. As in, now people have to think about the wider world, really, just not about themselves purely just for money. So, you mentioned that this awareness of sustainability should be drilled in from a much younger age. So, if you guys could be students again, what do you think would help you to really propel you onto this path of sustainability? Or like what would you want to have been exposed to more early so that you could have developed this much more?
I would have wanted a marketing class in high school or as an elective at university. I think that, first of all, marketing in itself is absolutely fascinating, especially at the moment with the digital marketing and so forth. And it allows you to understand how the companies are getting you to buy things which you don't need, or how companies are changing your opinions, how they're shaping your definitions of sustainability, and so forth. So I think by understanding marketing, both physical and digital, then students would have a much better understanding of sustainability and be able to not fall for the marketing tactics which the big businesses use.
And I also add that me and Sasha went from IB, which is International Baccalaureate, in school, and we had those opportunities to learn about UN Sustainable Goals. But like majority of, let's say, educational system do not provide it. And I believe people and students should learn about UN Sustainable Goals and about careers in each of those goals, like about the jobs each of those goals create. Um, and also, which is important, students should not simply understand or hear about the positive impact on the world, but they should realize that this is the goal and this is like a nice goal to have in the life. Let's say like that. Additionally, I would just add that, let's say, important schools like some famous prominent schools, they do have guests who are like, let's say, rich famous people, let's say like that, successful in it and etc. But I believe they should invite more successful people in sustainability who improve the world, not simply rich billionaires or like oligarchs or like the guys who financially sustainable.